So glad you are back with us on the Wells of Wealth. Brad Johansen with Don Chamberlin, the CEO, D.C. Chamberlin, the Chief Financial Planning Officer of the Chamberlin Group. We're glad you're with us. Gentlemen, it's nice to be back on set with you.
We're glad to be here. Excited to talk with you today.
This is kind of becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Folks are watching and reacting to the program. We thank you for that. Many of you now already making this appointment TV. Surprised at the reaction that people are reacting. I guess it kind of speaks to there are a lot of people who need some help out there.
Yes, I think it's been an overwhelming response. We're just so grateful for the outreach and the people that are watching. People told us that they were a little bit skeptical about what we were doing. Maybe it's not, and we're literally getting 10 times the number of people watching than we expected. So. We're just.
Is it because of D.C., you think?
I think it's got to be him. It's not the two of us.
That's probably what it is. We're grateful you're here, and we're going to continue to educate today. The idea is there's so much going on trying to figure out this retirement. How do we piece this together? We'll do this in many of these Wells of Wealth show. This is going to be kind of decoding your retirement paycheck. And for a lot of you, you're kind of leaning on this Social Security question. You've been told, or you have it in your head, hey, the Social Security thing is going to be my retirement, which may be the misnomer that you've been leaning on and causing a problem with retirement. Don, I'm going to go back to early years. This is bad. I'm lucky that my kids got the brains of my wife. They did well on tests. I did a lot of multiple choice tests where, I didn't really do a whole lot of studying like I should have going in.
Few.
Yeah, I had to guess a few. Didn't guess correctly on a lot of this. Is there something about that going into this Social Security that has thousands of rules, ways that you can file, and hundreds of rules on how you can adjust to all of that? And we're supposed to know all of this, so we play this as a non-study multiple choice test that we're not getting the answers right on. What's the danger of that?
Well, there's a big danger in not knowing what you're doing with your income and your Social Security. Income is the key to your retirement, making sure you have enough income to replace your paycheck. So my wife and I actually go down to Florida for the winter to spend time with our grandsons down there, and we were driving back through Tennessee. We stopped at a restaurant, and you know how sometimes, Brad, you have those restaurants where you walk out and there's free papers and things and little magazines you can grab.
They have a rack.
Right.
Okay,
so I saw this thing, it said, The Road to Financial Success.
And you said, I'm interested.
I said, I've talked to people about that. So I pulled out the book, and it was this magazine. So the road to success financially is becoming a long-haul truck driver.
Who knew?
In your retirement. And literally all the guys in this magazine here that I have are in their 60s or 70s, it looks like. So we don't want that to happen to people. Yeah, I got the magazine right here. So but this income question is the important thing. You don't want to roll the dice. You don't want to guess like it's a multiple choice question on your Social Security. So we're going to discuss that today and the importance of making that decision and give you a great way for you to get your numbers analyzed so that you can make the right decision for you and your family. Just stick with us in the show today.
I love that. You constantly put these tools together, and it is all about having the best tools to try and figure out what you can do. He's put a tool together for optimizing, maximizing your Social Security. Whentofile.com. You can scan the QR code that's on your screen. I'll leave this up there for a little bit during this segment. What am I getting out of this, DC, when I go in to try and find it? It is answering the questions, or maybe even creating answers to questions I didn't even know I had with this.
Yeah, and I mean, really what it's about is looking at the right and optimal time to take your Social Security. And the big part of that is you don't want to make that decision to take it at the wrong time, take it too early, because it reduces what your benefit might be starting out. And, as we defer this longer term, it can be a much greater amount, and it can have a much greater impact on mainly the person who's there last, the last one standing. Like, we really want to try to maximize for that person and for each household. But each person is different too, so you kind of have to look at both sides of the coin on this. There's other factors that weigh into this, like other strategies like Roth conversion planning that might make you want to delay your Social Security a little bit longer so that you can optimize in other areas.
Okay, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
The beginning is 62. I can take it at 62. And you know what? It's hurting right now. I want my money when I can get it. What's the problem with me taking it early, Don?
Well, the big problem with taking it early is you may be leaving literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table for you and your family if you take it too early. Now, not everyone can wait and can strategize like this. Some people have to take it because they need the money. But what we talk about in a lot of our classes is the percentage of income that you can expect from Social Security. So it's only about 40% of your income is going to come from Social Security. I think we have a slide on this. So that means 60% of your income has to come from other sources that are out there. From money you've saved, IRAs, 401ks. If you have a pension, only 18% of the people have pensions anymore. So, and this is average for the entire country. If you're watching this program or have already done any research into your retirement, it's likely it's not going to cover 40% because you have a higher income need in retirement. For some people, it only covers 25%. Some people, it'll be 30%. So this is something you have to figure out. So I always say you want to figure out your Social Security and your income together. Figure out your assets, your Social Security, how much income can you get from your assets? That's 60% to maybe 75% of your income has to come from there. Figure that out along with your Social Security, because you can't really make the decision for Social Security until you know how much income you can get from your other assets.
DC, this is the beginning of no-fee mini plan, but how does this impact the rest of the plan by making this single decision?
Yeah, so again, that's kind of coming back to this not making that decision in a vacuum, because if you do, then you're in a spot where, hey, like I missed out on so many other opportunities. So looking at and creating a holistic plan that kind of simulates out into the future and gives us an idea what that future might realistically look like is really important part of this, because that should help inform what we want to do here with this plan and when we want to claim Social Security. Do you want to claim it later or sooner, and how does that impact everything else together? And that's such a crucial part of this whole thing that a lot of people get wrong. They'll go and they'll get a report, like which we're going to run a report, right? But that report in and of itself isn't enough to get the job done.
It is all part of that. It is within the Wells of Wealth. It's why we call the program the Wells of Wealth, because Don conveniently has put together a book for you. It is your user's guide, and it is packed with the information that you need to know to say, I'd really like to get this right. Look, it's really easy to retire. It's very difficult to stay retired. So doing that within all of this is where your Wells of Wealth will come from. How do I get this? Well, this is your time now. You can call the number on your screen. You can scan the QR code to be able to get a 20-minute phone call with a financial educator. And when you call in, I want you to say, hey, I want the book. They talked about the book. I'd like the user's guide. Can I have this? When you talk to the financial educator, you'll get that information to say, please send that out to me. The idea is this is the beginning of your no-fee mini plan. Talk to this financial educator and find out what you need to do to move forward so that your retirement is going to be the way that it should be. Not the way your coworkers was or your neighbor told you it was going to be. This is going to be your retirement. How do we continue on that plan and make it work for us? We'll talk about that when we come back.
I have been in several different industries. I've been in the mortgage industry, I was in the life insurance industry, I was in the debt repair industry. Those other things were all things I was trying. I was trying to find my niche, what I loved, and what I could really dedicate my life to. So I said, I'm gonna figure out a way to go out on my own. You can make it all about money, or you can make it all about the people, and that's what I wanted to do. We're here to help people. And that's really what it's, wow. Yeah, that's really what it's all about. That's why I always say plan before. Plan before retiring, plan before taking Social Security, plan before living the life of your dreams.
You didn't pay your taxes last year. I'm here to collect.
In retirement, Uncle Sam is always there. Want to remove Uncle Sam from your retirement?
So glad you're with us on Wells of Wealth. Don and D.C. Chamberlin. With the Chamberlin, I'm so glad you did that, Don. I'm going to put that back up. Whentofile.com is what's significant about what we're talking about in the no-fee mini plan. This is the beginning of it. It's trying to figure out the Social Security thing that is very difficult. And there are real-life transitions. You scan the QR code. This will give you that report. User-friendly. This isn't a sales technique. This is an idea of what do I need to know here? And some of the questions are there for you. Whentofile.com, scan the QR code. Guys, if I start to talk about there's differences in ages on spouses. And I think you said in the beginning, we can't do this in a vacuum. And I think too many spouses, Don, make this decision. Husband says, I'm going to take it here. Wife says, okay, cool, I'll take it here. You let me know when you're going to take it after we're done. And the strategy has been missed. Tell me about the differences in if we have a span of ages on spouses. Why is this significant?
Everybody is different. That's the thing. It's the difference in ages that you have with your spouse. It's when each of you are retiring. Some people retire at the same time. Some spouses work longer. And it's how much you have that you have as your benefit. How much have you actually qualified for?
Yeah.
So figuring those things out is unique for everybody. And I think we have a case study that we can put up here real quick that will make our point better, because you could lose out literally on hundreds of thousands of dollars if you don't do this right.
Okay.
So this shows, this is actually what someone can get from us in the no-fee mini plan. It is called the Social Security Maximization Report, and it usually gives 4 different options. We can give up to 6 options. This one just has 4 options.
But this case is Mary and John.
Yeah, and they both file at age 62. They get about $1.8 million. Both file at their full retirement age.
Which for most is 67 now.
Yep. So they'll get about $2 million there.
All right.
If they wait longer, at least one person waits longer. John waits longer in both these cases. They're going to get $2.3 million. Now, in looking at this, they can both wait at the far right and get $2.36 million, right? Both wait till age 70, or they could get the blue bar there, and Mary could start taking it at 62 and get some income coming in.
Huh.
So what do you think Mary and John decided to do?
What did they decide to do?
Well, they decided to do the blue bar because it's only about $30,000 different, less, over a 30-year period, and Mary got to get her income starting a lot sooner. So don't think that this is the answer for you necessarily, right?
Unless you're named Mary and John.
Right, because if Mary's actually working, she can't take her Social Security at 62 or she'll be penalized.
Yeah.
So you need to look at all these other rules and get this Social Security Maximization Report that we're willing to give you today.
All right, let's go into what happens and why this becomes strategy, DC, on we rarely die together. And we don't know when that's going to be. But things change significantly when there's a surviving spouse. Why is that so significant in the strategy?
Yeah, it's super significant. Again, like average male life expectancy is around 85 years old, females around 87, but a married couple has a 1 in 3 chance of one of them living well into their 90s. So if a male lives until 85 and the female we presume would live into their 90s, that could be 5, it could be 10 years different. And if they take the wrong claiming strategy for Social Security, it could mean a lot of additional money missed out, because the larger of the 2 Social Security benefits is there for that survivor, whether it's male or female, whoever it is. So that is something that's a very important opportunity to capitalize on, and it's something that makes the plan a lot more stable over a longer period of time, just in case someone has that longevity that comes in.
We talk about not making mistakes. Okay, I filed. I thought Social Security was going to give me some advice. They can't do it, so I just filed. I made a mistake. Can I redo my mistake?
You can. In certain circumstances, it makes sense to do that. There's two things that you could do. Let's say you just started filing in the last 12, like you watch this program, this great program, well, I found out I could get a lot more on my Social Security, and you just file within the last 12 months. You can go back and pay back exactly what you've gotten from Social Security and wait longer and get more later on. Or you can do what's called a do-over. Now, once you reach your full retirement age, which for most people, like you said, is 67, at that point, you could just say, I'm stopping Social Security. I want to wait and have it be a larger payment at age 70, and they'll allow you to do that.
Okay. Medicare becomes part of, and we talk about the domino effect. How does Medicare figure into this, DC? Do I have to pay attention to that?
Yeah, especially with your other income sources, how all that factors in. There are surcharges if you hit certain income tiers. So you want to make sure that you have a plan that looks into that and calculates the impact of that on everything as well. Because if you're not, then you might be calculating taxes and expenses, but this is the kind of the hidden one that will start to creep up on you if you don't pay attention to it. And it's not one of those things where with the tax brackets, if you go $1 over, that extra dollar just has maybe 2% more on it. This is one where if you go $1 over, it's a substantial monthly penalty that you're paying, and it could have been $1 cost you thousands of dollars.
I want this maximization. What do I expect if I'm getting this report? What does this do for me?
Well, it's part of the no-fee mini plan, and it allows you to look at your numbers. Most people never look at their numbers in that, like we just showed in that case study, and say, well, if I took it at 62 and then my husband took it at 67, what would the number be? Well, if I waited a little bit longer, if I want to work till 64 and take it then, and then he's going to wait till 70, what's the difference? You can do all this scenario planning for yourself and for your family, for your income, but you have to know your own numbers. And what do you think happens if you go and talk to the Social Security Administration about this, Brad? The government, right?
It's a government agency who can't give you advice.
Right. They're not going to be able to tell you anything. They can give you estimated numbers as to what your Social Security is going to be, but that's about all. So at our firm, all of our holistic retirement planners are also National Social Security advisors. They have that designation to help you figure out your Social Security and get it right. So that's one of our focuses. It's our main thing that we teach. All of our classes that we teach in libraries, it's the number one most popular class, and we're happy to help you and your family figure this out too.
Would you like a retirement educator to take you through this? How long is that going to take me? How's 20 minutes for you? You plan longer for your vacation than you're planning for 30 years of retirement. How about taking 20 minutes for yourself to say, is this going to work? Call the number on your screen. Talk to a financial educator, a 20-minute call. And when you do, you say, you know what? Can I have a user's guide? Here's your user's guide. The Wells of Wealth book that Don has put together through his years of experience that says, here's what you need to know. And in 20 minutes, maybe you can breathe a sigh of relief and say, I finally found some answers. Make the call right now. You can scan the QR code. Let's put together a 20-minute phone call with a financial educator to get you on the right path. We're right back after this.
I actually got into acting in my senior year of high school, and one thing that I noticed that was really cool, because we took all these acting exercises and things, it's an ensemble. Everybody knows all the lines. They know their own lines. They know everybody else's lines. If someone gets off track, the rest of the ensemble, they don't say their own lines continuing. They say things that will get the person to say their line correctly. I almost felt like as actors on the stage, we were a family. And that's kind of evolved into what we do at Chamberlin, because we feel like we're forming a family, not just with our team members, but with our clients and their families as well. When we help families negotiate through the journey that we call retirement. You worked hard to earn your Social Security benefits. The age you choose to file can significantly impact what you receive over time. Filing early may reduce income, while waiting could increase it. But there is no one-size-fits-all strategy. Understanding your personalized numbers is key. Scan the QR code or visit whentofile.com to get your personalized Social Security report. It will show what is at stake between filing options. Getting the proper guidance could make a meaningful difference for your retirement.
So glad you're with us on the Wells of Wealth. Brad Johansen, Don Chamberlin, the CEO, D.C. Chamberlin, the Chief Financial Planning Officer with the Chamberlin Group, and we're kind of in the beginning of this no-fee mini plan. Where does it begin? It begins with Social Security and the massive amount of questions to try and figure out this complicated puzzle. Let's go more into the puzzle, guys.
Okay, let's do it.
Does this, and we're talking about getting a maximization report. If you would like that, whentofile.com is where that is. We have that for you. You can scan the QR code to be able to do that. Within this, does it take into account previous spouses? Are there other things that I have to consider? Because there are a few people who are not necessarily on their first marriage.
Yeah, well, it starts with the idea of the spousal benefit in general.
Okay.
Right? So do you have a choice of getting two different payments? You can get your own payment, your own Social Security benefit based on your record, or number two is you can get half of your spouse's, whichever is greater. So that's the way you want to think of it. You have two choices. It's always more complicated than that, but just think of just two things, right? So if you're married to someone, even if you don't qualify on your own because you didn't work enough, you can still get half of their benefit, right? If you are divorced, you have the right to claim half of your divorced spouse's amount. So that's something that you want to look into too, if that is more than your own benefit. So that's where the spousal benefit comes in, and it's super important to figure that out and see where you stand with your benefit compared to your spouse's.
All right, we've been talking about this no-fee mini plan. How do we get started on this, DC? Because this is the beginning of that, and there are many steps to it. How do we get started on this?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just getting the information and, well, of course, obviously having the 20-minute call, but from that, we can get some of the information on the background of each person who we talk to, and that'll give us enough to run the Social Security optimization report, and then we can start talking around that. And then from there, you can build around that the rest of the picture and have a true, clearer picture for us to do what's called a Monte Carlo simulation that will really allow us to run that 1,000 trials out in time and see, which one really leads to the best outcome, because it really isn't just about that report. It's a multifactorial equation where we're going to have lots of different elements coming into this thing that really impact what we're really going to recommend at the end of the day.
Well, we kind of go into this, Don, and there's a lot of offerings.
Yeah.
And you have kind of extended this into many different areas. It's a massive value, even putting together the book and what is inside this, and then putting together the no-fee mini plan. Why offer all of this for no dollars for a lot of people?
This is a super good question, because when we started, DC and I used to charge clients $2,500 to do this exact same thing. And what we found out that it was a difficult decision for people to say, am I going to get enough value out of that $2,500 to do it? We're financial educators. I'm a certified financial educator myself, and I want to help people and educate them. So we said, let's just do it as a no-fee mini plan. As long as people are educating themselves and they're in our process of education, we will do this no-fee mini plan for them. And the first step, and we're going through this in our first 3 episodes here this season, is to get that Social Security maximization report. That's what we'll be talking about during this episode. The second thing is the tax and portfolio audit. That's what DC was just addressing when he was talking about Monte Carlo simulations, running a lot of numbers for you. And so that'll be the episode after this one. So stay tuned to this channel. Come back at the same time next week. We'll talk about the tax and portfolio audit. And then a week after that, we'll be talking about the Wells of Wealth report, which is actually segregating, or we call it time segmentation of money, into 3 different wells to put your money in places that for when you need it, it's there for you to use it. And that'll help you replace your paycheck, make sure you have some safe money, but some money that's also growing at the same time in the market, based on what your own objectives are and your risk profile.
No, I love that all of this has been put together, guys. So educational. And I love that we constantly are putting this out there for you to say, you know what, it's not easy to do this. And why wouldn't you want an expert to do it alongside with you? The book is yours, and when you call in, I want you to make sure that you ask them. And I've been talking about, you know, financial educator. This is specialized. You're talking to a retirement educator that is taking you through this step. So call the number on your screen, scan the QR code. Let's put a 20-minute call together with your retirement educator to take you through this really complicated process to make it feel easy. You're doing this one time, doing it for the first time. Hopefully you're doing it one time and you want to do it right. How many things do you do the first time that you get it right the first time? Use the people who've been doing it hundreds and thousands of times to help you get it right. Let's do this for you. Do something for yourself and make the call right now. And as Don said, just join us right back here next week on The Wells of Wealth. Thanks for joining us.